This episode of Legends, the series, is brought to you by these fine companies.
Yeah, the monkey story it's all true. I mean, it was no flim-flam, no nothing there. Plenty of people went to high school with me. Maybe they should call me a bully now a little bit. I'm getting old enough to realize I try to talk it out anymore, and I still ain't. Anybody knows me, I still probably would fight you to flip of a hat, and I shouldn't. I know I'm not probably a fighter no more. I should be a lover. But anyway.
Well, Nancy says you're pretty good now.
Yeah. But anyway, in high school, I was athlete of the year my senior year. I was voted most valuable player in my football team and blah, blah, blah. But with the little fair around here in town, they had a little fair come around here in the fairground, in the baseball field here in King for years. We'd go, and it got to about the last, I guess my junior year, maybe even my sophomore year. 2 years there we went to it. And they had this little chimpanzee, I guess it was, or monkey. He's about that tall. He wasn't standing straight up. He wasn't 3 foot tall. And you put you in this cage that had rebar in it. Looked like a jail cell, but it was a trailer, enclosed trailer. And people stood on each side of it and watched you fight this monkey. And if you could beat the monkey, then I think you got $25. You had to pay $5 to go in, and you could win $25. We watched it a couple of years there, as I was coming through high school. About everybody get in there then, I thought they was old. They was 25, 28 years old back then. And a lot of them were just drunk. They were just some redneck shit like I grew up to be. But they were drunk and a skunk when they get in that cage. I said, guys, if they wouldn't get in that drunk, I know some of them guys are mean and crap. Now, they'd beat that monkey. But they'd always get in that drunk. So they all talked me into high school my senior year to do it. I said, all right, I'm going to fight that monkey this year. So we ended up doing it. And they put this old helmet on you that they wore back in the 40s playing football. It was just a leather, brown-looking leather helmet. No face mask, none of that bull crap.
That was Roy Hill's old racing helmet.
Yeah, probably one of Roy's old racing helmets. But I get in, they talked me into it, so I pay my $5. And I go up there and I ain't got nothing on but an old T-shirt. Go in there and get in that cage with that monkey. And I was a wrestler then, and I wrestled and done good in wrestling. So I figured I'm going to get a hold of him to start with, and I'm going to pin him. So he's jumping around this and that, and he's got a hold of the top bars, and I'm around there trying to get a hold of him. I got a hold of him. When I got a hold of him, I was going down with him to body slam him. And as I went down with him to body slam him, somehow or another, he just squirted out of my arms like a piece of chewing gum. So he just squirted out, and I hit the floor, basically, and he's gone. I mean, I just smacked the floor right flat on my face and belly, and I jumped back up, I'm looking around, he's over there jumping around, this monkey is, squealing a little bit, I kind of hurt him a little bit, I guess, because I throwed him down. He must have hit the floor a little wrong, but that pissed him off. Well, he's going from one side of this cage to the other with just both hands. And he'd touch the cage bars and he'd push off. And then he'd go over here and he'd push off. Well, I got cute. I got down here low with him. I get in that low deal with him, and I'm eyeball to eyeball with him, and he's going over here and he's pushing off. So I get a hold to the rebar and I push off, and I'm acting just like this monkey, which I probably was a monkey then. So he comes off, and I remember exactly. We go to this side, second time or so, and we go over here to this side. And when that little old monkey, we wasn't 3 foot apart. When he come off of that cage, it was like it was slow motion. He come off of that cage, and I could see it all. For however reason, he done it. That's an animal, can do whatever. But them hands come off that cage, and when them hands come off, both of them feet come up. He hit me. I seen everything like it was in slow motion. Them hands and feet hit me right here. Knocked me back probably about 4 feet back here, and I was dead against that old steel cage back here. It wasn't bar back there, it was just a flat metal. I hit that thing, and my head hit that bar, and I played football, I've been in fights. I never seen stars, and just, I don't know, stars, and it was like half moons. It was just everything in front of my eyes. I knew I was hurt, but at that time I was just mean enough to know I was still alive, and I was going after him again. So just as I was kind of shook my old head a couple of times and got off the wall, I'm starting to go after him again, and luckily the guy that run the thing reached in there and grabbed around me and pulled me back and got me out of the cage, because probably that monkey was probably fixing to hurt me. But I will say after that, I poured concrete with my uncle back in on Saturdays. I always rolled a wheelbarrow on Saturdays, rolling wheelbarrow. We didn't have no motorized wheelbarrows then. You had to roll it by hand. Follow them little old 2x6 planks, through the mud. That's what I loved that, because that's what built my muscles up, my leg muscles, my arm muscles. It was good weight training for me to balance a wheelbarrow with cement in it, rolling on Saturdays. I done that on Saturdays, and you had to get up every morning about 5 and go get started. I knew that night when I left there, I was sober. I went in that cage just sober. I hadn't had nothing to drink. And I wasn't but 18 years old. Wasn't probably supposed to be drinking like the rest of them. But by midnight, I was drunk. Luckily, I didn't get sick drunk, because I knew I had to get up and go to work the next morning. So I woke up the next morning. I kind of went to bed that night. I was pretty much not feeling no pain. I knew my jaw was tightening up, but when I laid down and slept for about 5 hours and got up, when I woke up, I couldn't move my jaw. I couldn't talk. Couldn't open my mouth. It scared me. So I went in and took my shower right quick, and I brushed my teeth. I couldn't get my mouth apart. It was just like, couldn't get it apart. So I brushed my teeth, spit the water out, and got some water in, and got done. And I knew my mama. We used to raise some pigs in. We always had. She knew I loved country ham biscuits, and I done smelt that country ham cooking. I knew she'd done had me my breakfast. She always put a little old brown paper bag about that tall on the table. And when I'd go out, that's what I'd have every day to eat for breakfast that morning, going to the job for concrete. And there wasn't but one bathroom in our house at that time, and it was close to my bedroom. As soon as I heard her go in that bathroom, close that door, man, I went out my door, I grabbed that bag all in one motion, and I hit the gone, went down to the cement plant, met up with everybody. We had some guys that worked for us back in, our board did it, poured concrete with us, and I had to give my country ham biscuits to them guys that morning for breakfast, and that was the worst. That was a pretty bad deal, but I got through it and had to come home. The biggest thing was I had to come home and face my mama that evening about 3 or 4 o'clock and tell her. I couldn't tell her. I kind of had to just mumble it out. Boyd and them knew something. I'd explained to them kind of what had happened, but she ended up taking me to the doctor, and I had a cracked jaw and sucked through a daggone straw for almost a week before I could really kind of get myself where I could chew again. But that monkey, cracked my jaw, and one thing about it, you don't need to fool with them monkeys. They'll get you.